years. This was once the leather and garment district of the city, a huge industry throughout New England at one time. Hides and wool brought from all over the world to Boston. Cotton from our southern colonies for the textile mills powered by the abundant river water of New England. And the leather for shoes. All the brick warehouses and factories were over there. Today, an artist's loft, a developing community in South Boston, the Fort Point Channel area. Along the shore here, the glass cube on the waterfront is the Institute of Contemporary Art, a new anchor for the Seaport District. Today there's a convention center here, hotels and office towers have gone up. There's great plans for the future of the Seaport District of Boston. As we cruise along today, you'll see numerous bleach bottles and small plastic buoys floating in the waters of the harbor. These are not litter. Each one marks the lobster traps of a harbor fisherman. There's a variety of wildlife to be seen as well. We occasionally see seals and harbor dolphins in Boston Harbor these days. The large black bird you'll see swimming and diving in the harbor waters are cormorants. You'll often see them come up with a flounder in their beak. And all these are strong indications of the increasing health of what once was a very polluted harbor. But today there are no longer textile and paper mills up the rivers, paint factories, and the billion-dollar sewage treatment plant over beyond the airport has certainly done its part as well. Next, coming up on our right on the waterfront is Commonwealth Pier with all the flags on it. This was originally the cruise ship dock for Boston. The Queen Mary and the Queen Elizabeth had both docked here in the past. And coming up next on our right ahead of us is the famous Boston Fish Pier. Built out here on this newly filled land in 1914 to accommodate Boston's huge fishing fleet, which used to tie up downtown on the backside of Long Wharf. And they built the pier here to consolidate the boats in the industry all in one place, move them out of the congestion of downtown, and to move that delicious smell as well. And it was the codfish, king cod, dried and salted, shipped to the Mediterranean, was the prime export of the New England colonies for many decades. Shipped also to the Caribbean to feed the masses of slaves that worked the sugar plantations there. A golden codfish hangs in the State House still, representation of the economic power of the mighty cod. We see a variety of fishing boats at the dock today. These boats go 150 miles east of Boston out to the Georges Bank, one of the richest fishing grounds in the world, seriously overfished by foreign trawler fleets in past decades. But the 200-mile limit and other legislation, including the current closure of large parts of the fishing grounds, have protected the fisheries, but they have yet to fully recover. Even so, seafood and the fisheries have always been an economic mainstay to the New England economy, still is today. The lobster industry alone worth some $300 million to the economy. And of course, seafood is the signature food item of the region. The boats unload their catch onto the dock, where it's weighed into the processing plants, where it's packed, loaded into trucks in the center of the pier for distribution throughout New England, and indeed the world. Down at the foot of the fish pier is a famous Boston restaurant with no name, the No Name Restaurant, serving large quantities of sea-fresh food at the fish pier. Next along the waterfront, that large white tent on our right is the Bank of America Pavilion. There's a concert series held there through the summer every year. Many named entertainers come here to perform at the Harbor Lights Pavilion on the waterfront.